Okay, so for this recipe today, it is going to be all in this one pan that I have. You want to make sure that you get a pan that has some of these higher ridges because we are going to be making everything in here, so you want to get a large saucepan for this. I'm starting off with my ground beef. This is a 73% lean, 27% fat. Chose a higher fat content for this recipe because it is going to make it taste so delicious. You're just going to want to break up your ground beef and mix it around until we get some browning on it. So once you have the ground beef where you see that most of it is browned, you don't want to cook it all the way. You just want to make sure that all the juices come out, because at this point we're going to be adding some veggies. So here I have a whole green bell pepper, and this is half a white onion. And this is why I chose the higher fat content beef for this one, because we want to cook these veggies in all of the juices. We just wanted to give the ground beef a little bit of a head start, but we didn't want to cook it all the way because we did not want it to dry out. So we're just going to keep cooking these veggies until they're a little bit translucent and they soak up all of the juices, and we want to make sure the ground beef gets cooked all the way. Okay, so this is looking really good already. And right in the mix, we're going to throw in your tomato sauce of choice. I pick up this traditional pasta sauce. It's going to be super tasty for this recipe. I'm just going to throw that right in there. And right along with that, here I have some whipped cream cheese. I'm going to throw in the whole thing in there as well. So we're going to want to cook these two together until we get a nice sauce going. I'm just going to pop that right in there. And before I start mixing, I am going to season it. So I did wait to season it at this point, so I make sure that the pasta sauce and the cream cheese get seasoned as well. So I'm starting off with some Italian seasonings. Here I'm taking some black pepper. I love black pepper, especially for these pasta dishes. It's going to be so tasty. Here I have some pink Himalayan salt. I want to put a couple of that in there. You don't want to over salt your dish because the cream cheese and the beef is naturally salty already. And we're going to throw in a touch of spice. So this part is optional, but honestly, I would not skip it. The cream cheese and the crushed red bell pepper go really well together. It's going to give it a nice mellow flavor. So once you have everything in there, we're just going to start mixing and combining until we get a nice creamy smooth sauce. So once you have everything at smooth consistency like this is the exact color that you want. Here I'm going to be throwing in my gnocchi. So this is a basil pesto gnocchi, which is super good, super tasty. It gives it that other layer of flavor with the basil, and this stuff you want to throw in kind of towards the end like this because it is already cooked. So we just want to kind of warm and soften it up a bit. And we're just going to keep mixing until all of the gnocchi is covered. And we're just going to reduce this down to a simmer and let it cook. Once you have all of that mixed in, here I'm throwing in some mozzarella cheese. So the mozzarella cheese is really good for this one because it melts so nicely. And it's going to pair well with the cream cheese and the pasta sauce. And it's going to give us just a smooth, cheesy, delicious flavor. I'm just going to keep mixing this until all of the cheese is covered. Like I said, we're going to reduce this down to a simmer and just let it cook for about 5 to 10 more minutes. This is almost ready to serve. But as one final touch, here I have some tomatoes, and I'm just going to put these in right at the very end, and we're just going to start mixing this in. I'm keeping these whole because when you bite into them and they pop in your mouth, it is just so satisfying and so tasty. But I am throwing them in at the end because I don't want the tomatoes to cook too much. I just want to keep them nice and fresh. We're just going to start mixing it in as well. This is looking so tasty, and like I said, it's super easy. This is one of my favorite weeknight dinners to make. All it takes is one pan, so you don't have to do any dishes, and just with a few seasonings that you find in your spice rack, it is good to go. So I'm just going to keep cooking this for another 5 minutes, and it will be ready to serve. Okay, look at how amazing this looks. And for a finishing touch, I like finishing mine off with some dried oregano, just to kind of spruce it up a little bit. And I'm just gonna dig right into this. So I'm just gonna take my big old fork spoon thingy, and I'm just gonna pour a bunch of this. This is so tasty and so creamy. Look at it. I cannot wait to try it. I'm super excited for this one, especially. Cannot wait to try. I haven't had gnocchi in a little bit, so can't wait to see how I did. Oh my God. This is definitely a must try. Mmm.